Hi, my name's Alan Edwards, and I wrote the book called Project Deliverance. And within this book, there are identified 20 key factors for project success, which I've learned over many years of experience of managing projects, been involved in projects from the smallest to the largest in supporting roles up to lead management roles. And these 20 key factors are crucial to the success of any project, whether it's a small one or a large one. This is the common theme that runs through all these projects. So I'm going to talk to you about the following 20 key factors. The first of which is that the brief for the project or program of work needs to be specific, concise, clear and realistic for the budget that is available. Secondly, that there needs to be a risk assessment of the project and the scope of works in order to identify contingency for budget and also contingency for time. And you need to put in place systems for risk management of the project during its life. Thirdly, there needs to be funding in place and the appropriate governance arrangements depending on who the client is, whether it's a public authority or private authority, a company, limited company. You need to have the appropriate governance in place, and this may need to be geared towards satisfying the funder of the project. The fourth factor is that the project site needs to be available for development. So before you appoint a contractor, you need to be sure that you will have the site available and accessible to him. In some cases you can appoint a contractor in advance, but you need to be sure when the site will be available. So your contractor has clear contractual constraints, starting and finishing dates, and that these are achievable because the site that you've identified for development is available. Sounds obvious, but in some cases I've experienced times when the client hasn't made the site fully available to the contractor, which has caused contractual problems. The fifth requirement is statutory planning permission for development. So you can't go and develop something unless you've got the permission to do it. This may be either a permitted development right in the UK, or it may need planning approval from the relevant local authority. Sixthly, agreements need to be in place for any special protection measures, for example to railways or tube lines that are near the site, and also for party wall arrangements. So you need to make arrangements with your neighbour to support and to protect his property. And this is usually done in a party wall agreement, but these sort of things need to be put in place before you start your development. Protection of utility services and a full survey of the utilities on the site is an essential requirement, and you need to ensure that you know exactly where the power lines are that cross your site. You don't want any incidents of either broken electricity cables or broken gas mains, broken water mains. A full utility survey is essential. You may, item 8, require enabling or advanced works to be done in advance of the main contract. This is sometimes done where there are demolition works or site clearance works that can easily be progressed in advance of a full development, usually while the design development is going on for the main project. You need to think about the appropriate contracting strategy for the project. How are you going to actually implement it? How are you going to carry out the designs? And how are you going to carry out the construction? Are you going to arrange a two-stage tender for appointment of a contractor? Are you going to appoint a design and build contractor? Are you going to have a construction manager and trade or package contractors rather than a main contractor? You need to think through your strategy for completing the project. Designs for the project must be fully coordinated and available and buildable at the appropriate time. So in some cases you can overlap the design and the construction activities, but you need to be certain that you're not going to cause hold-ups to the construction by not having fully coordinated buildable designs available at the right time. This requires a highly skilled project team to ensure that this is optimized. Item 11 is quality assurance and control. You need to allocate responsibilities to your project manager, construction manager or contractor, and sometimes all three of those for quality assurance and control arrangements. Item 12, building information management and modelling is a real benefit on projects, and you can save a lot of time and money by modelling in advance in the design stage and ensuring you get your designs fully coordinated between all the design specialists. And these specialists need to be working under collaborative arrangements with the contractor as well, so that all your team who's implementing your project are collaborating together. The last thing you want is difficulties of information flow resulting in claims, and you need to ensure that you put in place the right arrangements to prevent this from happening. Health and safety arrangements are essential. You as a client are responsible for your site, and you need to appoint the appropriate people for health and safety arrangements. Usually it's the contractor who is on site, but it may be delegated in certain cases to either the construction manager or in certain cases for trade specialists. Stakeholder management strategy is essential because there are lots of people who are interested in the success of your project. These may be your operational people who are coming in to occupy a building. They may be your end client, the customer who's buying the project from you, buying the building from you. It could be your funder. It could be neighbours, the local authority, the fire and emergency services. They all have an interest in your project, and you of course need to ensure that you make provision for all the necessary emergency services to be able to access your site once it's completed, as well as during the construction. Communications and protocols for communication are essential, and you need to set this up as part of your organisation and management of the project to ensure that parties are fully informed and there's full communication of the appropriate information to the appropriate people at the right time. There needs to be a master programme time schedule and a budget, which is a control document against which you need to carry out progress reporting, so that you are reporting against the master document, the baseline document, which has been agreed and approved by your client, your funder, the agreed parties who are sponsoring the project. Apart from the progress reporting, there need to be progress meetings at which the progress on the project is discussed. Any problems are highlighted. If there are things running behind, you need to make a plan for getting these back on programme, addressing all the key issues on the project. And it's very important this is a face-to-face meeting. It's not just read through a progress report. There's a meeting when people report and are accountable for actions that they're responsible for, such as designers and contractors who are responsible for certain aspects of the project need to report to the client about what the status is of each of those things they're responsible for. Interfaces and interface management is another key area, and it may be that your project is complicated, there are phased arrangements, and you need to make arrangements for interfaces of design and construction to be in place. So this is absolutely one not to be overlooked. Most importantly, item 20 of the list of 20 key factors for project success is that there is a culture of decision making and problem solving on the project. And this needs to be carried out by the leadership on the project. The leaders may be different people in different circumstances. designers may take the lead in solving design problems. Contractor will take the lead on implementation problems. The client may need to take the lead when there are changes planned. But whoever is managing the project needs to take this very seriously about decision making. Sometimes they're difficult decisions, but whatever is required needs to be decided and problems resolved. This is essential for a project to be successful, as there are always unforeseen things that come up. So if you'd like to download the book, then just hit the button below, and you can get access to various case studies about the 20 key factors for project success. A lot of different types of projects, maybe some of them could be similar to the sort of project you're envisaging, but you will see that these 20 key factors are common from the smallest to the largest projects. That's from £10,000 minor extension to a £2 billion mixed-use development, or an infrastructure project such as a railway project. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the book, and I hope your project is successful as well. Cheers.